Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the groundbreaking of Pedro Park. Approximately 1 year from now, we'll be standing in a new park space. It's a very exciting day for all of us. I want to start by thanking Ani Fernandez, Landscape Architects, our Parks Design and Construction team, the Parks Conservancy, Councilmember Naker, Senator Pappas, Representative Perez Vega. Thank you all for your support of this work. We're super excited to do this groundbreaking today and launch this project. Goes without saying that it's been many years in the works. I want to recognize the Pedro family who is here today. We have a short program for you today, and then we'll proceed to the groundbreaking ceremony. But I will turn it over to our Mayor of St. Paul, Mayor Melvin Carter.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. First of all, I want to say thank you to the city's weather department for doing such a fantastic job making sure we had a beautiful day to be out in St. Paul Park today. Right. You know, there's not too many things cooler than a brand new park. And to be able to serve our downtown neighborhood with a brand new park right here in such an important space is something we've been looking forward to for a really long time. And we're here with a bunch of folks who are excited to celebrate together. We have some downtown residents. Where's my downtown residents at? Woo! We got some downtown workers and business folks. Where you at? There we go. We got some city employees. Where are my city employees at? I got to pause on our city employees because, you know, I get rounds of applause different places, and I like to remind folks they're the ones who actually do the hard work. I valiantly and heroically give speeches and sign documents. Our city employees actually do the stuff that makes this city tick. So would you please give them a really big round of applause? And specifically, I want to call out our Parks and Rec Design and Construction team, Brian Murphy, Mary Norton, Ann Gardner, and Ellen Stewart, who are here for their specific contributions to this project. I see Joe Spencer, who's from our Downtown Alliance, which is a fantastic partner for us. Thank you. And we have a bunch of our kind of elected officials. I tell folks all the time that what matters far more than who your mayor is, who your city council member is, who your state senator is, and who your state rep is how your mayor, your city council member, your state senator, and your state rep are working together on your behalf. That's right. And let me tell you, we could not be in this space here today if it wasn't for the team of people who we have representing this downtown. You'll hear from some of them, but I have to tell you, and to a person, point to the folks who are up here and let you know that this is not something we could have done by ourselves. Without our state legislative delegation approving the funding for the Met Council to move here. Without our state legislative delegation ensuring that we had access to the sales tax funds that are helping to build this park. You guys remember last year when we decided we were going to put a penny in a sales tax into refreshing our citywide infrastructure, streets and parks? You remember that? Well, give a round of applause for yourselves for making sure that this and projects like this all across our city are possible. This is really critical. And I have to say thank you, Director Rodriguez already did. I have to say thank you to the members of the Pedro family are here. Would you wave your hand so we can acknowledge you? Thank you so much. We appreciate your family's legacy. You know, I grew up in a St. Paul where I could just go outside of my house and run until I couldn't run anymore. And I took that for granted. I think I assumed, Director Rodriguez, that every kid can do that. That every kid everywhere can do that. The green space is just something that comes with the territory, something that's there. And that's true and that's false. Green space did come with this territory. And we have to acknowledge that we're standing on Dakota land. But somewhere along the, yes. And let me say, at some point, we're going to have to do more than just acknowledge that we're standing on Dakota land. But somewhere along the way, we decided to build. And And, part of what we talk about a lot is the balance, Senator, between people and stuff. We live in a community that, before I was born, when my dad was a child, decided that a concrete road was more important, was a higher priority than 700 families' homes. That's the wrong prioritization. Because we know that we build infrastructure not to displace people, but to facilitate people's ability to joyfully and happily enjoy a high quality of life in our community. And so that's what parks do. Parks are proven to benefit the property values around them. Parks are proven to benefit the health and wellness of the people who live in a community. Parks are proven to create jobs, to create economic activity, to create livelihood and vibrancy in a community. And we're excited to make sure that this neighborhood right here has access to all of those benefits. Finally, I want to thank our Department of Planning and Economic Development. Director Nicole Goodman is here. We already acknowledged Parks and Rec. Our St. Paul Police Department is here. And as we talk about all the partners that we rely on, I have to acknowledge Friends of Pedro Park and also the St. Paul Parks Conservancy, who have helped to make critical investments in our system and in this space. Please give them a round of applause as well. All of your dedication, all of your passion have worked together to make this site a reality. It wouldn't be what we're celebrating right now, today, without you. Thank you so much for your investments and your engagement that's got us to this point. And the way that we're going to continue beyond a groundbreaking to a ribbon cutting and to all the amazing things we envision in this space is by your continued investment beyond this point. So I want to thank you very much. Without further ado, introduce somebody who's an incredible friend of downtown, an incredible friend of all of St. Paul, an incredible champion of St. Paul's priorities at the Capitol. That is my friend and our state senator, Sandy Pappas.
Thank you so much. Great to see you. I have to admit, it's not such a great place to be speaking after the amazing Mayor Melvin Carter and before the amazing Maria Issa. So I'll do my best. I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be here today with all of you. And thank you so much to the Pedro family for your patience. Because I know it's been hard over the last decade as we saw kind of a hole in the ground here that we hadn't kept our promise to build the Pedro Park. So I'm so thrilled to be here today. I'm also thrilled to show off my building, City Walk, and tell you we are painting those ugly balconies a beautiful gray-black, and you'll love it when it's done. It's going to look really nice overlooking the park. I've lived downtown for the last 15 years, and I love it. And I love this community, and I really appreciate all the people and all the surrounding buildings who have worked so hard and advocated so long to have this be a park. And it may not be the whole block, but it's going to be a great park. And I'm just so thrilled to be part of it. So 23 was an amazing year in the legislature where Maria and I had the privilege to pass wonderful, wonderful things, $2.6 billion in infrastructure throughout our entire state. And we were able to finish the funding for the 3rd Street Bridge, which is very expensive, and we're doing a bridge closing there in a couple of weeks. And I knew we had to do this park, but I really didn't think that I could fund a park in my own neighborhood. I didn't feel really comfortable. I'm born on the range, but I'm not quite enough of a ranger to do that, right? But we did do some money to the North End Community Center, which was terrific, and that's going to be a fabulous community center. So imagine my surprise when Andy Rodriguez calls me and he says, guess what, Sandy? With the state money for the North End Community Center, it's freed up some city money, and we're going to put it into Pedro Park. Woohoo, really, what wonderful news. And this part of downtown really does need green space. When you look at all these buildings around here and all the people that live here, we really need this. We need it for our health, for the environment, to make our community, our little part of downtown, a more vibrant area. And with activities scheduled here, maybe we could even squeeze in a skateboard park, hint, hint, hint. Skateboard parks, amazing diversity of ages and genders and ethnicity and race. Let's think about that. Let's put a little hint in Andy's ear. So at any rate, I'm thrilled to be here, as I said. Thank you all. Thank you to the Conservancy and to all the residents who are working so hard to make this park a reality. Thank you, and I'll turn it over now to Maria Isa.
Thank you, Representative Maria Isa Perez Vega, a child of St. Paul. It is an honor to represent this district and the constituents of downtown. I grew up between the West Side and Lower Town, and my grandfather actually worked at what many Puerto Ricans called Pedro's luggage. So I remember being a little girl coming in here and seeing the elders that are no longer living, like Senora Emilia Rosario, who is the mother-in-law of the former state representative whose seat that I have the pleasure of representing. And so this is not just a celebration of what's to come, but also holding memory of the joyous memories that have and will now continue to the next generation of St. Paul kids as being able to go to a park downtown. And, you know, I just am so excited about what the city is going to continue to do through the great legislation that we are able to pass through. And to work through within the budgets to say, hey, we did this, there's a little extra more, let's keep building with that. And let's centralize what we could fund in other areas to make this city what I like to call the best capital city in the country. It's gonna be great to say that my kid's gonna have an opportunity to reflect, and I get to share those stories about her great-grandfather. I get to share the stories about her great-grandmother who walked to Woolworths, and we got to go to Candyland, and she's gonna be able to do the same thing. And when we talk about the diversity that we have in our city, it's going to be so tremendous to see that you're going to hear different languages, you're going to see and experience different ways of styles of playing, but you're going to be unified through the most important, which is giving the nutrition to our children for the excellence of them having fun. Gracias. And with that, I'd like to introduce our council member of Ward 2, Rebecca Naker.
I don't know if I've ever been this excited to see this much dirt. And not just me. When I was door knocking last fall, and I don't know if you've ever door knocked before, but you know, sometimes you knock on someone's door and they're not so excited to see you at their door. I've had that experience a couple times. Maybe you haven't, I don't know. But in this case, when I was door knocking at City Walk, Sandy's door and her neighbors, when I was door knocking at the Point, people were so excited to see me at their door. And it was not me, I assure you. They were excited to show me, to say, come on in, look out my window, look down, look at what is happening in Pedro Park right now. They couldn't be more excited about the demolition, about the wrecking ball, about the huge plumes of dust that were coming up and coating their balconies, because it was finally happening. And I just want us to take a minute to appreciate where we are right now in the moment we're in right now. Just take a minute, look around, remember what this looks like, remember what this feels like. Because this is the moment that people for decades have been dreaming of. This is the future that people have been working for since the Pedro family, and thank you so much, and for generations since. And this is the moment that is going to be the past that people will look back on, when this is not dirt, but it's grass, and there are children playing in the playground, and there are people sitting here eating their lunch that they got from Keys Cafe, which gave us the very first donation when Carol wrote us a $1,000 check. I remember that moment, right? And when people are walking their dogs and people are just sitting outside enjoying downtown St. Paul, they're gonna look back on this moment, not as the beginning, but as a beginning. And we were here. And these beginnings don't just happen, they happen because of the incredibly hard, thankless work. These are the moments that get all the photo ops, as the mayor mentioned. We're the people who get to stand up here and talk. But so many people have made today happen, many of whom are here, many of whom are not here. But I want to give a special credit and thanks to one particularly extraordinary individual whom I've gotten to know over the course of this work, Julie Prince, who is a constituent, so my boss, a friend, a mentor, someone who I look up to and admire, because she has never given up on this dream for one single second. She is the founder and leader of Friends of Pedro Park, and I can't wait to see what she does next. So with that, please give it up for my friend Julie.
Wow, thank you so much. Just had a few words to say. So I'm Julie Prince, chair of the Friends of Pedro Park. I wanted, I have a hype man. I wanted to thank all of you for coming today. I want to thank the St. Paul City Partners, all the people that I got to work with over the course of the last few years, you know, from planning and economic development, Parks and Rec, and all of you. You guys should know that we have an amazing city staff. They care so much. They're very skilled, and they're excited about this park too. So thank you for all of your work. Thank you, Councilmember Naker. You were such a great support of this project, advisor, helping us navigate our way as we were trying to come to a decision about what should happen here. And thank you to Michael John Pease, also from the Conservancy, who's teaching us what a friends group does and how to fundraise and all of those things. So thank you for that. But mostly I want to thank the community for showing up, because without showing up to community meetings and filling out surveys and more surveys and listening sessions and design session and more surveys, none of this would happen. It's happening today because you guys care about your community. And we're getting very tired and fatigued about being asked, what do you think should happen in Pedro Park? You should also know that during this design process, the surveys that you guys filled out 2, 3, 4 years ago were revisited. Those comments were combed through. So it matters. You should know that. It matters that you show up and write your council member and send letters to the mayor. It matters. So I encourage you to continue to show up to community events and show up and fill out surveys, even though maybe you think it's not going to matter. It matters. Thank you.